Boom. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 238. Today is Wednesday, August 29th, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
At 10-ish. What's going on, Antonio, Ariel? Good morning. Moni Love, Allison, New Legacy, Jizzy Mac, Franklin Rage, Crypto Q, Tessa. Good morning, good morning.
What up, what up?
Hello, hello. For the free Satoshis yesterday, who won?
Oh, yeah. So our free Satoshi winner was Tommy Brown. Thank you for your comment. Based on our question, would you put your birth certificate on the blockchain? We saw this technology coming out in India. They'll be piloting a program, so we wanted to know if U.S. citizens would do the same. He kind of shared our sentiment that the government will probably get a little bit too much control, more than they already have. If your birth certificate was on the blockchain, being able to be deleted and stuff like that wouldn't be possible, but maybe we want that privacy. So thank you for your comment, Tommy Brown. We'll be sending those free Satoshis.
All right, much appreciated. Let's go ahead and jump to the top stories. I'm trying to see, is it lag on here? I can't tell. Top story, Bitcoin accepted everywhere. Square wins patent for cryptocurrency payment network. What is going on with Square?
Well, it looks like Jack Dorsey can't do anything about Twitter bots, but he can innovate with Square. He absolutely has, done the most innovation for any payments network I've seen so far. They allowed Bitcoin to be in the Cash App, and now they've actually won a patent with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to allow merchants to accept cryptocurrencies alongside conventional methods. So for those of you who have businesses, some of you all who we may have consulted before, who we said you can still accept cash, you can still accept credit cards, but if you can accept Bitcoin alongside of it, that will increase your user base and customer base. So Square is looking like they want to be the payment network you use. So it's not the first one, of course. We've seen others, BitPay's out there, GoCoin, coin payments. However, Square is probably the most visible and the most known name to people because, Cash App is sort of a verb now. It's like Cash App me, send it through Cash App. So
right.
Good to see there.
Yeah, and it's another thing. It's kind of like you said, it's going to, not the first one, but it's one of the main ones. It's going to unroll that road to adoption. So as more merchants begin to accept crypto, and the original excuse was we don't want to hold it and all this, they're getting more options now. It's only a matter of time. I mean, as we keep saying, the next big financial mishap, when people do flood to crypto, they're going to want to adopt it quickly. Now we're actually going to have the technology to do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and he stated before, Jack Dorsey, he stated he thinks Bitcoin will be the native currency of the world in less than a decade. So he's basically getting himself ready for it. Remember, this is just a patent. It doesn't mean that they have implemented it. But you usually don't patent stuff you're not going to use if you're a tech company. So it looks like this is pretty great news for Bitcoin going forward because they'll be rolling it out probably early 2019, I think, in my opinion.
All right. Next up, UAE startup launches first ever Sharia compliant Islamic crypto exchange.
Woo, that's a lot.
It was a reason why that was word soup. Looks like Adopt Solutions, a UAE-based crypto startup, has announced the launch of the first Islamic crypto exchange, calling it the FICE, I guess. The only crypto exchange in the world that is designed to be in compliance with Sharia law. That is what they're saying. Honestly, this article should have had one of those little sponsor tags on it because it read like it was a sponsor tag.
Yeah.
But it looks like, according to a report from Trade Arabia, an in-house Sharia advisory board made up of independent international Sharia experts will be in place to ensure that the exchange achieves full compliance with the tenets of Islamic law at all times. To me, this reads like regulators have been brought together to make sure this exchange goes by their guidelines. And of course, we know how regulators, what role they play, which is none, but a money grab. And this story is reading like it. They're saying that not only are they going to have this exchange, it's the first one is in existence, they're saying to be Sharia compliant, but they're also, you guessed it, during the ICO. And when is ICO? The ICO is actually coming up here in the next couple of weeks in September. Sometime during September, next couple of days, excuse me, during September. So the whole thing just reads corruption to me. We see it with our own regulators. We see it with our own, companies and corporations. And I feel like they're pushing it the same way. They're saying, hey, this is the one that everyone who follows Islam needs to jump on board, and we're also doing the ICO, so you all can buy into it. And we have these these consultants come in who are all Sharia compliant consultants, and they're going to tell you how you can make this work.
Yeah, and I mean, Sharia law can be interpreted, however it wants to. Usually who's in control interprets Sharia law. But for those of you who don't know, under Sharia law, technically the fractional reserve system that we have in the U.S. and that other countries have that underpins, most of the fiat is actually what they consider usury, and it's frowned upon. It's
frowned upon to us too.
Yeah, it's frowned upon us too. We don't like it either.
We don't like it either. No one likes it.
So under the umbrella of Sharia law, whoever interprets it, they can say, well, cryptocurrency has a set limit, or Bitcoin has a set limit. Other ones do as well. Gold, for example. These are all things that have scarcity and have the ability to gain value and aren't just, pumped and inflated the way our economy is. So that is good to see from that point of view. However, like we stated before, when you have a advisory board, so to say, for any cryptocurrency or for any ICO, pretty sure one of the biggest things that's going to happen is their interpretation is going to come out. And even though they say it's a utility token, come on, man, how many utility tokens have come out and they all become speculative? Long term, there are a few utility tokens that'll work, but we'll see with this one, because this does look like this is a government-backed / big money-backed project.
It's definitely looking like a money grab.
Yeah, this is a big money grab.
And shout out to Crypto Head. Thank you for the tip. Said the red man and method man of crypto. That is very funny. Who's who? Which one's which? Yeah. My Digital Sauce, what's going on? Crypto Warriors, what's going on? For those who don't know, My Digital Sauce is one of our in-house designers, website designers, developers, and all that. So make sure you give him a holler if you need anything done.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Hodges was going on, said interest charges are illegal in Islam. It's like when it comes to usury and interest charges, we get it's against Sharia law, but again, we don't like it ourselves. So I don't think there's any American that who knows about fractional reserve banking likes it. So we're all with you on that one, but the basis of a crypto exchange is that they're not supposed to be doing that. We know they probably are, more than likely. But they're not supposed to be doing that either. So for them to say, well, this exchange definitely isn't doing it, yes, you are. You're going to do it too. All right, if you do your little ICO, there we go. There go that tip. Thank you, Crypto Head. If you do your ICO and you make, out of 30 million, 100 million, whatever, you're going to do fractional reserve banking. Yeah. All right. We hope you don't, but you probably will.
Yeah. But it is a smart move, though. It just come out and say, hey, Muslims, it's okay for you now to buy crypto under Sharia law.
Hey, 25% of the world's population.
Hey, man, that's a lot of people. So, in my opinion, they went about it a smart way. They did it under the guise of Sharia law and not, under, some other thing. And the crypto fund that did it, they were smart to use that as well. So we'll see how it goes. Their ICO, if they raise billions, you already know, man.
Red 5 Golf Gunny, what's going on? Are you a real gunny? That's what I want to know. But Google Trends says crypto is dead. Of course. Of course. Blockchain Shoes, what's going on? Angela Brown.
But the hash rate says otherwise.
Exactly. You might say Bcash is dead, but
yeah, Bcash maybe.
Korean crypto exchange Bithumb to restart user registrations. Bithumb, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in South Korea, is reportedly renewing its contract with the country's, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, bank, a move that will allow the firm to once more accept new account registration. Looks like the non-Gayup bank. What's going on with Bithumb?
The N-Bank. Well, if you remember, Bithumb had a $31 million hack in June. That was only 2 months ago. Lost a lot of money, had some pretty bad reports, but like we've always said, whenever exchanges get hacked, they usually just lay low, stay to themselves, and then they have to repair their relationships with different entities, banks, or users, whoever they're dealing with. It looks like South Korea is looking at Bithumb and saying they're too big to fail. I mean, this is what I see from this, and they're basically allowing them back into the industry because the bank has basically backed them from this point. And under the country's regulations, users' accounts must also be separated from company accounts so that you won't, basically have that, duality in somebody's account going forward. And and honestly, I think Bithumb is one of those exchanges that is smaller to people like us in the US. However, in South Korea, South Korea is a very big crypto hub, so they need all the exchanges they can use. A lot of anxious South Korean investors haven't been able to access funds or use it. So now that Bithumb is back, it is a good sign. Because if you look during the last bull market, according to data, a lot of the Bitcoin prices jumped on Bithumb during the bull market. So that's sort of an indicator of where the market is going. So now that it's back online, like we said with the news, it always just happens to come back at a good time.
Right.
All of a sudden, you know, all these...
Oh, the Bitcoin's rising? Oh, let's go ahead and get these new user registrations. Let's go ahead.
Drop the news. Let's do it.
People, all you got to do is follow the patterns and the trends. I mean, they are clear. I mean, I'm glad this is a new industry because you can literally see it from its inception. Imagine people who haven't jumped on crypto yet, who won't jump on until next year.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be lost in the sauce because they're not going to understand how these, these exchanges are moving, how these regulators are moving, how the Sharia compliance experts are moving. I mean, all this stuff is happening right now during the downtime. But as Bitcoin, they said, price is going back up. Oh, all of a sudden we can take in new users.
Oh yeah, we've seen that from a lot of
great
people.
Timing. Amazing timing.
A lot of good news just now came out in the last 2 days. So like they've been sitting on it for months, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, by the way.
And we even saw that some of the news was saying, well, this actually happened 4 days ago, or this actually happened 2 weeks ago. This happened a month ago. So you're just now telling us? How come?
Yeah, exactly. So
Binance backs $32 million funding for unicorn founders' crypto stablecoin. I swear, if I see another stablecoin,
I know.
Yeah, oh, it's actually funny. I didn't even see the first line. The article I originally had up was causing us to freeze. So if you see a lag in the stream, that's why I had to delete that article and pull up a different one. Haven't even read this one yet, but I knew the story. But yeah, the first sentence says, "Yet another stablecoin is attracting big investors." Announced Tuesday, the founder behind a $1.4 billion startup unicorn called Timon is revealing he has raised a $32 million seed round, which actually isn't a lot if you got $1.4 billion. To build so it hasn't built yet, to build a stablecoin called Terra. But while a number of startups have deployed stablecoins, crypto engineered to track the price of another asset, usually fiat currency, Terra comes with a notable an existing user base. Coming from the Timon user base, which doesn't actually translate sometimes.
Right. That's sort of...
it doesn't technically translate, but they say the Terra project is launching with a significant number of partners that already has reached 40 million customers. Again, they're assuming that these partners' customers will automatically just transfer, which more likely not going to happen.
Kick thought the same thing, and then nobody bought Ken.
That's true.
I mean, other people have tried it. Oh, we got a user base. They're like, so we don't even know what this is.
Yeah. So basically, their game plan is, again, it might work. They might actually have like, hey, this could actually work. We have a great project, but at the end of the day, it's a money grab. It's a business move because they're already telling you, hey, we already banded, they're saying right here, we partnered, or they did say, in quote, we banded together with all the e-commerce platforms in Asia that are not called Alibaba, Shots Fired, or Amazon, Shots Fired twice, to push Terra into the hands of many, many people. Shin told CoinDesk. So they're already telling you they're basically going to grab as many people's email lists as possible, and they're just going to blast email them. They're going to blast mail them. Marketing campaigns saying, hey, we have our own stable coin. And again, this is business. You're looking for something like this. You're looking for a 3% return of interest. And if you can get that, you're a winner anyway, because 32 million, you're not costing yourselves that much. If you have multiple, these major platforms banding together, you got Binance backing you apparently. You're good to go.
And I think, it even states here that Timon's annual losses usually take the form of credit card fees, and a lot of retailers, most of their fees come from credit cards because you have to pay a percentage every time, and then chargebacks, you have to deal with that. However, if you pay in a stable coin or any cryptocurrency, there is no chargeback fees, there is no credit card fees, only the network. And if they can lower their transaction fees on a scale of a $1.4 billion company, that's a lot of money. If they can lower the price of those fees, that's basically the business play that they're doing here. And in my opinion, most businesses that have credit cards or credit card machines need to move towards this.
It doesn't make sense to have credit cards when Bitcoin is here. Now, it literally makes no sense to have that.
I mean, you have to have it there for, the people, the laggers who are coming behind. Not too long ago, there was a woman in line at the grocery store with a checkbook. So those people still exist, people. So you have to cater to them to an extent, but you got to kind of push people into the future on purpose. You kind of show them, look, this is how you do it, and this is what it looks like Timon is doing with their Terra token.
There we go. Oh, the lag stopped too. Perfect. Was the website. Shout out to Red 5 Gulf Gunny again, because this is an actual gunny sergeant. I love hate relationship with you all. Dan the Man 03 says Stellar X decentralized beta launched this week. All right, let's get somebody to test that thing out and let us know how it is. We might take a peek at it. I mean, I hope it's truly decentralized. Of course, you got to do some digging to check that out. Torrance J Playlist basically said the same thing Bitcoin Zay was just saying. He said, we will see more billionaires come out with stable coins, starting out with a little money to them. If it's worth it, they'll turn 3 million to 30 million. If it doesn't, whatever, we'll be out. Exactly.
That's the
play. It's a stable coins at this point is a business move. And again, we agree. We get it. If you're a billionaire, not even a billionaire, you got if you have some millions in your pocket and you have enough to, hey, I'm gonna throw 3 to 5 million out there, maybe get some partnerships. I have another 10 or 15 people give me $500,000, $1 million each, and we can pump that up to a $60 million, $70 million stablecoin. That's a great return, ROI. So especially if you can do it in 1 year or 2 years. These, again, we talk about ROIs in the market. You don't see these in the traditional market. You see 7 to 15% when you're talking about stocks, or when you're talking about actual companies. A lot of people don't expect any ROI until about 3 to 5 years out. Yeah. They expect to operate at a loss for the first 2 or 3 years, which is why they say one of the number one problems with new companies is capital. They don't have enough capital because nobody expects this bear market. Yeah. Honestly, so it's one of those things that if you have money already, just open a stable coin. Yeah. Hopefully it works.
That's the new play.
That's the new play right now. Speaking of ICOs and stable coins and all that good stuff, it looks like Indiegogo cancels their first ICO due to regulatory concerns, and they actually refunded investors. Last week, crowdfunding giant Indiegogo launched its second ever ICO, which they actually kind of put out on the story last week. That was the first one. But that was for the luxury resort in Aspen. We covered that. But the reason why they were pushing that, because their first ICO, which was a utility token offering from the fan-controlled football league, had raised more than $5 million in December 2017. What a great time to do it. Oh, yeah. To fund the development of an independent football league that crowdsourced team management, giving fans control of personal decisions, logo designs, etc., play calling. And they surpassed their $5 million ICO target. Of course, using Indiegogo, but it looks like Indiegogo came back out and said that, hey, there were some regulatory concerns with this project. It canceled the offering and it refunded everyone their money. And to me, this kind of says, we're going to arrest the little guys out there, but if you're a big company, as long as you give everybody their money back, no harm, no foul. Yeah. Because was it Don Tapscott Jr. did the same thing when he had like Vinny Lingram and a couple other people. I think Andres Antonopoulos. He had all these people on his website saying they were advisors to his ICO, which they weren't. He raised all this money off his father's name, and then once all these people were coming back out saying, "Hey, we're not associated with that project," and the judicial system started coming down on him, all of a sudden he was like, "We'll just get the money back and everything's good." Yeah. So if you're a big company, why not?
Yeah. And I mean, according to their quote, they're doing exactly what we've told. I don't know how many people have emailed us or approached us about an ICO or wanting to start an ICO, and we keep telling them this is a terrible time to do it. Don't put yourself through the stress. And they've even stated it themselves, after many, many hours spent with our legal counsel, could have just listened to one show of us, but okay. Right. And the advisors, we decided that the best course of action was to delay our fan token generation event until the launch of a fully completed FCFL platform in which the fan tokens can interact with utility function. Exactly. Hold your ICO until you have a product to use it. You can't give a bunch of promises and then when you raise the money, either use it for your own thing or, just exit scam at that point and say, oh, well, we weren't able to build the product, or no roadmap, so it could be here in a year, it could be here in 2 years. That's not a way to raise money. That's backwards. And honestly, for those of you who invest in ICOs without products, I can't save you. We can't save you at this point, because if they just leave, you don't know. But if they have a working product, then when you have an ICO that's favorable to the SEC, it's still sort of convoluted because you have to go through a lot of registration and KYC, AML stuff. But if you have a product, then your ICO can be at least a little valid. So even they realized that. It was like, well, we don't really have a way for you to use it yet, but we will. Like that's not a good promise. And
not only that, if you have a product, worst case scenario, if the team isn't doing like whatever they're supposed to, you can just take the product, people, or at least take the ideal and just kind of spin off it. Versus, as I said, Bitcoin, they said, it's just an ICO out there that doesn't have anything going for it. Yep. Torrance J Playlist said Indie no go. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see, but they're trying to do it with a second one, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Again, they're first to the door. We appreciate them doing it.
And they see exactly what we've been telling them about ICOs. It's hey, you can talk to your legal counsel till you blue in the face. They're gonna tell you the same thing. It's not worth it, man.
We've talked to the legal counsels, people.
Yeah,
we know.
it's not worth it, people.
And last but not least, Coinbase continuing their all-out onslaught of everything crypto. I didn't even realize they have a research side to them. Well, I should have known, but it looks like they have a research side to them. They're saying Coinbase research says 42% of the top 50 universities offer at least one crypto-related class.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there we go.
There we go. Finally, catching on.
A recent study by the U.S. crypto exchange Coinbase showed that, of course, they had the 40% of the world's top 50 universities has a class on cryptocurrency or blockchain. They published those studies yesterday, Tuesday, August 28th. The research was jointly conducted by Coinbase and survey company Curiously. I don't know what that is. Curiously.
They trying
Silicon Valley. Here you go,
hey, man,
right?
They trying to with these names.
Together, they interviewed 675 U.S. college students and reviewed courses at 50 international universities. Of the 172 classes reviewed in the study, 15% were offered by economics, finance, law, and business departments, which makes sense, and 4% were in the social science departments. That's probably for morality reasons, of course, that no one seemed to be following here, ethics and all that good stuff.
Not at all.
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think this is great. I've been saying this forever. Like a lot of these universities have the infrastructure to have blockchain courses with good professors, especially in the computer science department, because Bitcoin is a combination of a lot of things: history, economics, cryptography. Technology. It's finance. Software development. It's so much that goes into it that you can have a very, very, big course, so to say, as far as at your school.
It's gonna have to be a degree.
Yeah, at some point it'll be a degree.
To be an entire degree.
I think right now, it's not viable enough to be a whole degree simply because we don't know enough about it. Right. It's sort of like who would have thought in the 90s, internet would have it in our pockets. That's a whole course by itself now. But some of the schools like Stanford, Cornell, even Princeton. I took a course at Princeton in 2015, and it was the very first one, and nobody was doing it. I was like, I hit up my alma mater and some of the other schools. Everybody was kind of like, well, why? Well, we need to learn about this. Now it's 2018, and people are dying to learn about this. So hopefully, especially in the U.S., the U.S. is everybody at the university wants to at least learn a little bit. There is one issue, though, I will say is a guy pointed it out online. He was like, some of these students, or most of these students, will be learning for the future, but a few of these students will be learning just to get better at scams, which is, that's just the nature. Hey, that's just the way the game goes. So you could literally have students there that create the future while at the same time have the next big scammer trying to figure out an ICO while learning it. But it is needed. You have to teach it, and people who want to learn are starting to go to these schools just for blockchain courses. I can tell you that right now. If you have a choice between one school and another, and one offers blockchain courses, another doesn't, some people are choosing that one. So good for those schools. Hopefully more smaller schools will get into it. A lot of professors, like I said, one day hopefully be Professor Zay. That would be tight.
There you go.
At somebody's school. But it's one of those things where you have to have it. They're putting it into the CFA now for the financial people. It's on the final test. You have to know this stuff, people. So good to see from those universities.
As again, it's interesting. We are literally in the midst of an entire new industry being birthed. It's already been birthed, or at least growing right now. It's growing its legs. It's 9 years old, people.
Yeah, it's getting there. I want to shout out Tariq right here at G-Bond. He actually says he's an engineer, and he says some chemists want to make meth. Exactly.
Hey,
that's what you
true.
get. You can't teach very high quality subjects and not have people in there that's going to do their thing.
Right.
I just want to throw that out there because I'm sure that'll be the next story that comes, like, oh, college students learning about blockchain scam with an ICO or something, whatever, or mining scam. So just be ready for that news. It's coming out. You got to have something.
But in general, as you say, it's good to see that universities are starting to offer at least one of these classes to introduce people into it. Again, this is going to be a slow growth thing. Until somebody actually writes up and a whole 4-year plan, 2-year plan, whatever, which we don't even have that enough information to do at this point, even though I'm sure there's an education company out there who sees the money grab, who's doesn't matter if we have we're going to do it.
Pearson VUE is so they got some people working right now on it.
Right. So, but it'll be good to see and interesting to see what happens next when it comes to universities, or even further down the line, thinking 5 or 10 years, what's going to happen when these jobs and stuff say we don't have a blockchain degree or a crypto degree or whatever. You're like, but I've been in since 2015, 2016. Yeah, but you don't have a degree in it. Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Yeah, it's that's one of those things. But most colleges, they just need some sort of exposure to it. Even if they don't have a class, throw a Bitcoin ATM on campus just so people will use it, or have a small event. But
So go, you good?
Yeah, BitConnect class.
Yeah. So shout out to Going Bitcoin, because this is true. Going Bitcoin said BitConnect class. Yes, there should be at least one day, or there's going to be a whole section on scams.
Yeah.
Exactly, on scams in the crypto sector, scams in blockchain, however you want to call it. And yeah, BitConnect will be one of the main case studies that people need to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's funny, but yeah. It worked. So
it's right beside Mt. Gox.
Yeah, Mt. Gox, BitConnect, all these OneCoin, all that. It's going to be a case study for each of those. You know what? That's like a good 2 weeks of class right there.
Yeah, scammers.
The test is going to have 6 BitConnect questions on it.
Yeah, you can bring in psychology with that. It's so much. Everything you can bring in so much with that. So yeah, that's great to see. I think long term, it'll only increase. It'll only be more.
See how excited we get about education, people. We truly do love it.
Oh yeah.
All right, for the free Satoshis, what are we doing?
Oh yeah. So for the free Satoshis, comment with your alma mater and what you are doing to get blockchain or Bitcoin classes there. If you attended college or if you have a local college that's around, send a letter, send an email, something to get them, on the blockchain wave. Let us know what you're doing to get that going at colleges, so we can get courses going at smaller schools, because we know the Stanfords and the Princeton,
or what you would do,
what you would do.
Yeah, what would you do to get a college course near you, nearby, involved?
Absolutely, community colleges. It doesn't matter. Regular universities, 4-year, it doesn't matter. So let us know, and we'll send those free Satoshis.
All right. As always, thanks for watching. Have a happy hump day, and we will see you all tomorrow. Oh, and for those who have been asking about the podcast, we had to take a quick break from the podcast for some turnover we're doing. We're going to re-upload. I think we're about 8 or 9 behind. So those downloads have been incredible. We actually appreciate everybody who listened to us on Spotify, Google Play, Apple, AirPlay, all that good stuff. We appreciate it, and we're going to get those updated for you this week.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Have a good one.
Cheers.